top stories on New Year's Day. New district councillors swear allegiance to the SAR and vow to bridge the gap between the government and the people. Chief Executive John Lee believes Hong Kong will become better and more eye-catching on the international stage in 2024. And mainland revellers face travel chaos on their way back after partying in Hong Kong. A total of 470 district councillors arrived at the government headquarters in Admiralty today to take an oath of allegiance to the Hong Kong SAR. 88 members were winners in the recently held district council elections, while 3 local area committees chose another 176 members. Chief Executive John Lee appointed 179 councillors, and rural leaders took the remaining 27 seats. In his opening remarks before the ceremony, Lee said the district councils will no longer be politicized or disruptive. He urged councillors to bring in actual change to improve people's lives and serve as a bridge between the government and residents. The closed-door swearing-in was supervised by Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs, Alice Mack.
After
the hour-long ceremony, Councillor from Kowloon City South, Lee Chiu-yu, said the oath represents his promise and commitment to the government and the city. He vowed to become the government's assistant and facilitate the communication between the authorities and the people. Lai Ka-man, councillor from Tuen Mun North, pledged to help residents by improving transport facilities in her district. Mack said patriots will finally govern Hong Kong and councillors will formulate ideas to improve the economy at the district level. Working groups have been set up in 17 districts for the purpose. Maisie Mok, Cable News. Chief Executive John Lee believes Hong Kong will become better and more eye-catching on the international stage in 2024. In a video posted on Lee's Facebook page this morning, he said the government's goal for this year is to invigorate the economy by promoting the city's welcoming and polite service attitude and launching more refreshing and diverse activities. The SAR will also help foreign enterprises to enter China's market. Lee also aimed to improve people's livelihood, and he vowed to communicate with the public to solve issues. The first arrival in the new year was a baby girl born in Queen Mary Hospital at 5 minutes past midnight. Also on the first day of 2024, this couple welcomed their firstborn at 1:36 a.m. in the Prince of Wales Hospital. The father was very happy after his daughter gave him a surprise by being born on New Year's Day. The mother was relieved by the quick delivery. Nearly 480,000 residents and tourists went out yesterday to watch the countdown and fireworks display at Victoria Harbour. Kevin Yuen, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, said 230,000 tourists came to Hong Kong yesterday, the highest number in 2023. The government will organize more large-scale events in the coming days to attract visitors, Young added. Maisie Mok, Cable News.
As most Hong Kongers headed home after the countdown and fireworks display, hundreds of mainland visitors were queuing outside a cross-boundary coach station in Prince Edward. But there were no signs of any coaches arriving at the pickup point, and the queue was nearly 300 meters long at one point. There were similar scenes at Sheung Shui Station. Despite MTR services operating throughout the night, services to the border stations of Lo Wu and Lok Ma Chau Spur Line were not available overnight. Many commuters had no choice but to sit on the platform and wait for the first train at around 6 a.m. to make it across the border. This man, who waited at the station 5 hours ago, felt the traffic arrangement after the countdown was inconvenient for travelers like him heading to the mainland. However, the wait was slightly better at a bus stop, a few hundred meters away from where there were buses departing for Lok Ma Chau. Even though the queue was long, it was moving as buses arrived and departed at regular intervals. Travelers who made their way to the cross-border at the Huanggang checkpoint had to walk on foot to the immigration area on the mainland side as there were insufficient shuttle buses. Meeting the press this afternoon, Security Chief Chris Tang said the authorities are in discussions with their mainland counterparts on the possibility of extending the operating hours of more border control checkpoints. Janice Low, Cable News.
A plume of white smoke was seen at a China Light and Power substation in Tsingyi at around 3 p.m. An equipment malfunction led to a voltage dip, triggering the plume. The Fire Services Department received several calls for help after people were stuck inside elevators, and fire alarms in many buildings in the new territories went off. CLP Power apologized for the inconvenience and is carrying out an investigation.
The Al-Qassam Brigades, the military wing of Hamas, released footage showing dozens of rockets launched from Gaza into Israel. The attack set off air raid sirens in southern and central Israel, but no injuries were reported. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of demonstrators gathered in the Turkish city of Istanbul to rally against Israel on the first day of the new year. Israeli raids have killed more than 21,000 people in Gaza so far. The relentless Israeli bombardment throughout the Gaza Strip has left many on the brink of starvation due to lack of essential supplies. Many Palestinians gathered in the West Bank city of Ramallah on New Year's Eve to send a message of support to the people in the Gaza Strip.
This demonstration in the center of Ramallah is sending one message to the people of Gaza. We are with you, we will not leave you, and we are all unified and united in our struggle for freedom and to end this terrible occupation, to stop these terrible war crimes in Gaza. The people in Palestine are all unified and united in support of Gaza and in support of ending this terrible aggression on Gaza, demanding complete and permanent and total ceasefire immediately.
Israel has vowed to destroy Hamas after its fighters attacked southern Israel nearly 3 months ago.
There was chaos in Kaohsiung City in Taiwan after panicked revelers attending a New Year's Eve countdown concert started running when someone shouted that a man in the crowd was carrying a knife. The stampede left at least 35 people injured. Police later clarified that the incident was a hoax and no one had a knife nor was anyone stabbed. Two men had an argument and one of them pulled out a pen, which was mistaken for a knife by people in the crowd, the police added.
Australia was among the first countries in the world to welcome 2024. In Sydney, over 1 million people flocked to the harbour to get a closer look of the 12-minute fireworks display. The fireworks show at the iconic Arc of Triomphe in Paris was slightly different than previous years. With France set to host the Olympic Games this July, the theme incorporated related elements, such as the Olympic rings in the multi-dimensional light show. At the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, organizers were determined to create the brightest, biggest, and the most colorful show. The sky was lit up after 15,680 pyrotechnics were set off from more than 2,800 unique positions on the building. Spanning 40 minutes, the show was one of the biggest fireworks displays in the world. Japan and South Korea welcomed the New Year in the traditional way by striking the bell at midnight. Janice Lowe, Cable News.